Yes, beans and legumes do appear to help protect against cancer, and honestly, I think they might be the most underrated food in all of cancer nutrition. Hi, I'm Michael Mirth. I'm a registered dietitian working in oncology, and today I want to make the case for the humble bean because it quietly does more for you than almost anything else in the grocery store, and it does it for pennies. Let me start with the evidence, because I always want you to know what we actually have to stand on. I would describe the research here as encouraging, even if it is not airtight. Population studies, the kind that follow large groups of people over many years, consistently link higher intake of beans, lentils, and other legumes with lower risk of colorectal cancer. That is one of the most common cancers worldwide, and one of the most influenced by what we eat, so that association matters. And it is not just a handful of studies floating out there on their own. The World Cancer Research Fund and the American Institute for Cancer Research, the organizations that review the entire body of nutrition and cancer evidence, specifically recommend legumes as a regular part of your meals in their guidelines. When the most careful reviewers in this field name a food directly, I pay attention, and I think you should too. Now, why would beans help? This is where they get interesting, because beans do two jobs at once. The first job is what they add to your plate. Beans are loaded with fiber, and much of the benefit we see in the research seems to come from that fiber. They also contain resistant starch, which is a type of carbohydrate that travels down to your colon and feeds the beneficial bacteria living there. Your microbiome gets nourished right in the part of the body where colorectal cancer develops, which is a pretty elegant bit of biology. On top of that, beans bring folate and a whole collection of phytochemicals, the natural plant compounds that come bundled together in whole foods. The second job is just as important, and it is the one people tend to overlook. Beans are a genuine protein source, which means they can stand in for red and processed meat, foods that are tied to higher cancer risk. Researchers sometimes call this the replacement effect. Every time a pot of chili leans on kidney beans instead of extra beef, or lentils take the place of sausage in a soup, you are making two moves at once. Protective fiber and plant compounds go in, and some of the red or processed meat comes out. That double action is why I put beans in a category of their own. Very few foods improve your plate in both directions at the same time. And here is the part I love as a dietitian. This is one of the cheapest changes you can possibly make. Beans are inexpensive, they are filling, and they are sitting on the shelf of every grocery store. You do not need anything fancy, and I want to be really clear about this one. Canned beans absolutely count. Give them a rinse if you like, and they are ready to go. You do not have to soak dried beans overnight to earn the benefit. The can opener version is the real version. So what does this look like in practice? Keep it simple. Stir a can of white beans into a soup. Build a chili around beans, with or without meat. Toss chickpeas or black beans onto a salad to turn a side dish into a meal. And aim to swap beans in for meat a few meals a week. Not every meal, not a total overhaul of how you eat. A few swaps a week is a meaningful, sustainable pattern, and patterns are what the research is really measuring. If beans are new territory for you, start with one meal this week and let your body adjust to the extra fiber gradually. The point is not perfection. The point is that one of the most protective, best supported foods in cancer nutrition is also one of the cheapest things in the store, waiting for you on an ordinary shelf. That is genuinely good news. Small, affordable, repeatable choices are how prevention actually works, and beans might be the easiest one of all.